And we're live. Hello.
Oh, hi. Welcome back to the FiveStack. I'm Dean. That's Zev. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Real quick, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. What's the cutoff date for wishing you and everybody else here a Happy New Year?
Is there a cutoff date? I don't think there's a cutoff date.
I think there should be, yeah, like the 7th,
Oh yeah, by far the 7th. Yeah. No, I think once you're into the
4th.
weekend, yeah. I think
Like this weekend. Are we done? Like today's
I think
Friday. Are we
today
done? It's the 2nd.
you can do this end of this weekend is a good time maybe, but beyond that, get on with it. It's not even that
Yeah.
big a deal anymore. New Year's Eve, is it? Is it like it's not even a
I,
thing?
I didn't even know what, I was in bed at 10 o'clock. I
Yeah.
celebrated Greenland New Year's Eve. Like I really
Yeah, 'cause
did.
no one watches the ball drop in
No.
no one watches things like
No,
that
I haven't seen it.
anymore.
You know what we used to do when I had young kids? They're all adults now. Just stud men, by the way. Real men
Oh yeah, I'm
that
sure.
stand up for people. Fucking, I love my boys. But I used to shaft them every single New Year's when they were kids, like when they were young and really stupid. So what I would do was, and I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there that did this too, is that you turn your clocks ahead at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you go, guys, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock, we better eat. My God, it's already 8 o'clock. Yeah, and it's dark out already, right? So it's like, so, and then I would turn on, like Greenwich or Ireland's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And we'd all celebrate like on YouTube the ball dropping or the Irish, shamrock dropping, whatever the fuck. I think it's some other country. And I'm like, guys, it's so incredible. Okay, lights out. 9:30. Everybody was asleep. It was New Year's Eve, and Daddy got to get his drink on. That
Ah,
was brilliant.
you fooled
Back in
them
the
with the
day.
time zones.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Yeah, no, that's good for you. Did they believed it? They bought it because they were stupid.
Yeah. Well, because they were young,
enough.
right? Like they don't know any better. They're like 3, 6, and 9. I'm like, you guys are stupid. I can do
Yeah.
whatever I want. I can totally change the time.
You know what I did this weekend, which you probably
No?
didn't
Tell
do,
me.
is I watched Heated Rivalry, that big Canadian hit that's all over HBO. I mean,
Huge
it's
show. It's
huge.
unbelievable. Like
Canada's never had it.
international
Yeah,
sensation.
Canada's never had a hit show like this, I don't think. And it's all about this gay or gay affairs that are happening inside the Canada's best pastime, hockey.
Yeah.
And it is, it's a very I want to say sizzly.
Seedy?
Seed. I don't want to say seedy because it's not seedy. It's just a sizzly
Two different
show.
meanings there
Yeah,
too, right?
because there's
Yeah.
a lot of like nakedness and guys having sex with each other, and these are hockey players, so it's like these are icons. Even though they're not real hockey players, they're you don't do that to hockey players in Canada or in the United States, I don't think. And the show's a hit. The show is a massive hit. I
Yeah.
really liked it. It's shot in Montreal a lot. It's by a Montreal director. You can sort of tell it's got that Montreal aesthetic. It's a really big show. I don't know if people have been watching it in our audience, but it is worth your time, especially if you're just a little bit curious about what it might be like to be a gay sports person inside a major sports league.
Point counterpoint.
Yeah.
Let me just offer my 2 cents about this show.
Yes.
Now, if anybody isn't aware of what this is, the show is based around. It's called Heated Rivalry. It's on Crave here in Canada, HBO in the States. It's a Russian professional hockey player,
Mhm.
and I believe is it an American or Canadian?
It's an American. Sorry, it's a Canadian, but he's half Asian or something like
Okay,
that.
half Asian Canadian
Yeah.
professional hockey
Yeah.
player.
Does that exist actually?
So yeah, Nick Robertson, Jason
Okay.
Robertson. Yeah. They're half Asian.
Yeah.
Does that even exist? There's a lot of people in the NHL with Asian.
I wouldn't know, but it's not me being racist. I just wouldn't know.
I know, dude. I
just
know.
don't know
It's
anything
pure,
about hockey.
pure sports ignorance.
I learned everything about hockey that I know from Heated Rivalry.
From Heated Rivalry. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's a problem. So anyway, this story apparently, as I understand it, has these 2 professional hockey players conducting this sordid gay affair
Sordid.
during the season, or
No, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's a love story. It's a love
Oh,
story
is it?
between 2 men. Yeah, it was 7 years. It goes on forever. Beautiful.
Oh, it's like it's like hockey's version of Brokeback Mountain. Is that the deal?
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. 2 love stories, in fact, in a whole hockey league. So it's not just sordid. It's a beautiful thing. It's love on the rink, using hockey, using the Canadian pastime as a vehicle for this. It's a
Sure.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. Now, let me just interject a couple things here. One of the things.
Oh dear.
This little known fact: if there's a sex scene in any movie,
Mhm.
I fast forward it to the killing. It's what I do. if I'm watching a television show or a movie and there's murdering in it, there's aliens in it, and all of a sudden we've got a sex scene, I will fast forward through the sex scene.
Mm.
I don't care if it's heterosexual. I don't care if it's homosexual. I don't care if it's lesbian. Might hang in there for the lesbians.
Oh, oh, that
No,
changes everything
I don't
then.
think I would. I don't think I would. Honest to God. And this is the truth. I was just joking around.
Mm.
So I'm not a fan. Like to me, sex scenes and shows is like a fucking waste of time. Like,
Mm.
just get to the shit, get to the plot, get to the espionage, get to the whoa moments, and get back to the killing. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy
You
a
like
lot of
watching
murdering.
killing.
I
Okay.
like violence in television shows and
You're a
gore.
fighter. I'm a lover. That's a
Exactly.
different thing.
So I would never watch this show based on that alone because my partner watched the first episode. She's incredibly open minded as I am. And she's like, I couldn't watch it. I said, why?
Why?
She goes, because there's like a full on BJ scene in the first episode.
Oh, yeah. And much
And I'm
more.
like, well, see, she didn't tell me about that, thank God.
Or
And I'm
didn't
like,
get there, but they get.
okay, I'm out. I'm out. Like, I
They
don't
get.
want to watch it. And it's not like I don't like PDA. And it may sound odd to a lot of people. You and I know each other fairly well. You know I'm not homophobic, despite being fired for being so.
Mhm. We believe you.
12
It's
years
okay.
ago.
You're with us. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But there's this thing inside me when there's like, someone blowing someone else, where I'm like, I don't need to see this. I don't need to watch it. It's good. It's irrelevant to the show. I know what you do behind closed doors. I'm not a prude. I love salty shit. I think it's the best. I enjoy. Everybody's got their kink and their perversion. I just can't fucking watch it. And so when she told me about that, I'm like, forget it. I'm not watching it. And now I've got her friends, my friends going, dude, you got to watch this show. My buddy Jeff, he's like, it's an incredible television show. And I'm like, I just don't think I could get past all the sex.
Because the
I don't
sex
think I
is
could.
the point of the show. It's not like you're watching something irrelevant. You're actually watching part of the development of the story. It's important.
Had these
You're
guys
having.
never been with other dudes before
Well,
they were
they might
together?
have wanted, they might have been before, but this is the beauty of this love story. While they're Canadian professional hockey players, loosely based, I think, on who's the guy who was really. You see, I can remember Sidney Crosby. Loosely,
Yeah, it's loosely based on Malkin and Crosby
yeah,
or Ovechkin and Crosby.
and Crosby. Yeah, but I don't
It's
know if
like-
they had it fair. I mean, they didn't love each other like that.
Listen, I don't think either of those two guys had an affair. But here's the other thing. I talked to a buddy of mine who used to play in the NHL, and I'm like, what do you think of this show? And he's like, dude, do you know how many gay guys there are in the NHL?
Yeah,
And I'm like, no. He goes, a lot.
a lot.
He goes, it's not just gay, it's bisexual, guys like it, but no one talks about it. But that door is going to come down at some point. And I think if you're asking me for something that's positive that came out of this, it just drove all the fucking maggots and maple maggots crazy.
Yeah.
Why is all the gayness in hockey? What about Canada's pastime? It's for heterosexuals. No, it's not. It's for fucking everybody. Doesn't matter where you want to stick your gear. It doesn't matter. But that I loved. I loved that it trolled. But I also love the fact that it sort of opened up a really common secret. If you live in Canada, it's our national pastime. The secret is pretty fucking loud. There are a lot of guys in the NHL that have different sexual proclivities because it's a cross-section of individuals from across the world, and that's how life works. Just so you know, it's not a brotherhood of heterosexual guys who are like, there's no gays in hockey. There are a ton of sexually free men that play in the NHL that get together with each other, with other guys, other teams, group sex with them, other women. And I am not telling tales out of school, my friend.
Probably
everybody
true for
knows
everybody. I mean, it's just generally true that people have a wide variety of sexual interests, and they'll appear in every genre of humanity. I mean, whether there's no such thing anymore as sort of heterosexual, male-dominated society in certain spheres of influence, except in the United States, where they're trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
But in Canada, like they're looking like, what the hell is that? Like we don't do that anymore. Young people don't do that anymore. That's not the way people think.
Of course
It's
you do.
never been really the way
Lowest
people.
divorce rate in the history of any sexuality divorced couple, gay men.
Yeah, well, they
Sort of
don't get
point that
married as
out.
much, do they?
Well, yeah. No, I don't know if they get as married as much. I think in Canada they might, but like it's just dude,
I
fucking
wouldn't-
get with it, right?
Gay men are not very good at staying loyal to their partners in a monogamy basis. I don't think you would call them, monogamous in general, but
You guys
maybe some of them
dogs?
are.
Hey,
Some of them
dude, are
are.
you guys dogs? Are you guys get after it more than guys, more than
Of
heterosexual dudes do?
course, there's guys and
Really?
guys. There's no guys and girls. Girls are, you don't. We don't have to talk about
I,
this. We don't want.
dude, go
We,
ahead.
we
You want
not want
that's
to
your
talk about this.
funeral.
We got a five stack. It's ready 3:30. We got news. We got to get in there.
Dude, you brought up the conversation. I didn't.
I
I
talked
want to
about
go down the
hockey,
road.
heated rivalry. Yes, yes. The answer is yes to answer your question because I was going to answer your questions. But yes, it's true. And also, Heated Rivalry is a great show. Everyone should check it out if they haven't seen it yet, including you. I want to.
You know what? I'm busy. I got to catch up on Landman. I'll get back to you on
Oh, you see,
Heated
I think you might
Rivalry.
be scared of something. I don't know. It might be an itch or
No, I'm
itches
not,
to
dude.
scratch. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Absolutely not. I just don't want to like if sex is one of the main components of any television show, unless it's pornography for 30 to 80 seconds.
It is pornography.
I am not well, and it's not my kind of pornography. So why would I watch it, right?
just I would, if I were you, just challenge yourself to see if you can get
To
past your
watch
first
gay
10
porn
minutes.
on Crave? No.
He's scared. He's scared. Anyhow.
Hey.
Eddie Leonard is like,
Not
I
only
dream of watching TV. I know. So I did it this weekend. I was like, hey, it's a few hours. Should
I
we get
know.
into the
I
five
can't
stack?
believe that. That's the other thing. Let's just take a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
You had a weekend where you didn't write.
I have not
You
sat on
write
my
all the
couch for a
time.
while.
You didn't fight. And how awesome was that? Did you get a chance?
It was
to kinda-
amazing. Honestly,
Yeah.
I put my feet up and normally I put my feet up and I
Good
fall
for you.
asleep right away because
Yeah.
it's just I'm too tired. But I had a good night's sleep. I woke up. I was like, oh, New Year's Day. Let's watch something. Put my feet up, watch the show. I was like, this feels nice. It feels nice. It feels nice to be a normal human being watching television. It was just a
Veg.
Yeah, I just vegged
Yeah.
for a whole day. It was good.
I did that on the 29th. I was sick a
24?
couple of days too. I did not move from my couch
Yeah.
for one whole day to the point where I started to smell funny. Like,
Oh, no.
where you're like, I think it's me. I haven't
And you don't
moved.
care because it's only you on the couch.
Smells like camping in Gooch. I should probably move.
Okay. And
Welcome to the Five Stack.
let's do the five stack because there's a lot of news developing today. And we begin at number 5, which is all about what's happening over at CBS News. Tony DeCouple, I don't know how you say his name, becomes CBS Evening News anchor on Monday in what the network is calling a mission to win back trust. Translation, CBS Evening News has been bleeding viewers for years, sitting in third place behind NBC and ABC, and they're so desperate, they're trying literally anything. Of course, this particular switch of the chair is because Barry Weiss fired the former news anchor, John Dickerson and Maurice Dubois, who used to co-anchor the evening news, and now they replaced it with the morning news anchor, where DeCouple has been sitting next to Gayle King for a long period of time, reading the news. And now he's the news anchor at CBS Evening News. Does anyone even know who he is?
Yeah, he's married to Katie Tur. That's the only reason why I know who he is, because I'm a big Katie Tur guy. And I'm like, and I remember reading about Katie Tur, and she's married to the morning news anchor at CBS News, worked with Gayle King. And then a couple of days ago, and everybody's well aware of the heel turn that CBS has taken, right? Like, just quick context. CBS News was sold to Larry Ellison, David Ellison of Skydance, Paramount, Skydance, CBS News, all purchased by the Ellison family. Now, the interesting part is, let's focus on the Ellison family. Larry and David. Larry's the dad. He's in his 80s. Looks like he's had way too much work done. And his son, David, same thing, Botox King. They are two of the richest people in the world. Larry's like 1 or 2, goes back and forth between him, Bezos, and Musk. 1, 2, 3. Oracle guy, now owns a piece of TikTok. Now he owns Skydance. Now he owns Paramount. And now he also owns CBS.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that he did when he bought CBS? He hired Barry Weiss, a 30-something substacker who was paid by Netanyahu and the Netanyahu government to write very friendly pieces about Netanyahu, the Netanyahu regime, Israel, what's going on in Israel with Gaza, the genocide of the Gazan people, specifically children, to really kind of whitewash that stuff over the past year and a half, 2 years. So she automatically ascends from being a Substack writer to being the CEO of CBS News.
Editor-in-chief, which is a position that never existed before, but they created it for her.
She was the person that killed the Seacott story, which Canada ran, which then went viral. She was the person that turfed almost everybody from CBS News that was there to do journalistic things because they were journalists.
Mm-hmm.
She was the person that turfed the people from CBS News that kept it a holy citadel of information and investigative reporting. And now what she has done is she sent out this Dukoppel guy
Mm-hmm.
to tell everybody we're not doing the fucking news anymore. We're not talking to experts anymore. We're just going to do shit that Donald Trump wants us to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the clip.
Yeah, we have the clip.
This is the announcement. This is the announcement that CBS News specifically, is now dead. It has fallen to Team Trump. And I want you to pay special attention to the examples this fucking loser, okay, he'll be a flash in the pan, this fucking loser of a fucking anchor
Yeah.
says when he's trying to present it to people like, you know, we're tired of doing the stories you've asked us to do before, like Iraq, the Iraq War. It's like fucking 25 years ago. And then he presents the Hillary stuff and the Russia hoax, and then he delivers the fucking death blow. And that death blow is fascinating because what he says is, we're done talking to experts and intellectuals, academics. We're now going to talk to you. This is MAGA 101. Let's watch this together.
A lot has changed since the first person sat in this chair. But for me, the biggest difference is people do not trust us like they used to. And it's not just us. It's all of legacy media. And I get it. I get it because I've been hearing about it from just about everybody for more than 20 years as I've traveled America on this assignment or that. My mom's neighbors in West Virginia, my own neighbors in New York City. Thousands and thousands of conversations in between. Sometimes people want to talk to me about our coverage of NAFTA or the Iraq War.
NAFTA.
Other times it's all about Hillary Clinton's emails or Russiagate. Or more recently, COVID lockdowns, Hunter Biden's laptop, or the president's fitness for office.
Yeah.
The point is, on too many stories, the press has missed the story because we've taken into account the perspective of advocates and not the average American. Or we put too much weight in the analysis of academics or elites and not enough on you. And I know this because at certain points, I have been you. I have felt this way too. I felt like what I was seeing and hearing on the news didn't reflect what I was seeing and hearing in my own life, and that the most urgent questions simply weren't being asked. So here's my promise to you today and every time you see me in this chair. You come first, not advertisers, not politicians, not corporate interests. And yes, that does include the corporate owners of CBS.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I report for you, which means I tell you what I know, when I know it, and how I know it.
You don't have a team.
And when I get it wrong, I'll tell you that too.
Your team.
It also means I'm going to talk to everybody and hold everyone in public life to the very same standard.
No.
After all, I became a journalist to talk to people. I love talking to people.
Oh, I mean, fucking layer it on, dickhead.
He is, Walter Cronkite must be, he's rolling over in his grave right now because there is no ways Walter Cronkite would ever have, uttered any of those words ever in a million years. That is about the last vestige of what was a great news brand being destroyed by Barry Weiss in record time, I might add. I mean, she's only been
76
there,
days took her.
I mean, and she's already been able to tank the entire thing. She's already cratered 60 Minutes by not running that Seacott report. That no one trusts 60 Minutes anymore. The reporters don't want to work there anymore. And now she's done this. Firstly, no one cares what he thinks. Just tell us the news. I don't care what your mom says.
Guys, listen. We're tired of talking about NAFTA.
Yeah, NAFTA. NAFTA's not in the news, dude. It's not even called NAFTA anymore. Also, the three examples he gives of the things that they didn't cover were all fake stories. Hunter Biden's laptop was a manufactured propaganda piece out of Russia. Russiagate, I think they're talking about not the actual Russiagate, which is that Trump is compromised by Russia, but by the fact that some people said that was fake, that was a hoax. That was not a hoax. no matter what CBS wants to tell us these
Well,
days.
that's why he calls it Russiagate, because
Yeah.
he's insinuating it's a fucking
Yeah.
hoax.
Yeah.
And then he I mean, that was what did it for me. It wasn't, hey, by the way, you know what? All too often we talk to experts
Yeah.
about what goes on, like defense experts, to get
Sure, that's
expert
true. They
opinion.
do. They do.
It's not working anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're here for you. So what is the alternative? What is it that he actually said? You want to decipher that? You worked at CBS News. You were a big time producer in New York. You understand what that brand is. You know what's going on. You know how important journalistic ethics and standards were to people like Andy Rooney. You fucking met Andy Rooney.
Yeah. I love that.
Give me your take on Dukoppel's statement, which was directed to, like, he's like, this is the fucking part that I love the most too. He was like, as long as I'm in this chair.
It was about 30 seconds. And the thing is, there's been like 6 anchors, I think, at CBS News for the last, decade or something. They really go quickly. I was there when Katie Couric was the anchor. He's a lovely, talented, real reporter. I don't know when he's been out in the field, or if he's been out in the field recently or not, or what have you. But, the tradition of 60 Minutes has always been to bring great reporters into the field, to do real interviews, real reporting, and then those people would often become the sort of the main voices and the main faces on CBS. The other tradition came out of the Walter Cronkite School, which developed that incredible, that evening news brand, the Anchor. The very idea of an anchor came out of Walter Cronkite. The fact that
Cronkite, by the way, let's just tie this into he was on Epstein's plane.
He may have been. Everyone was on Epstein's plane. The more you read into it, the more we know exactly what it was. It was a very complicated.
Anyway, just quick aside. I want your take on the CBS thing, though.
Look, I think it's a mess, and I think CBS has been a mess for a long time. I think every few years they try to change it and try to bring new people in. I think the corporate owners over the years have really hurt the news division. They should have just left it alone. The role of these corporate owners is just to facilitate the news division. They're not meant to interfere, but they do. And it's ended up ruining this entire Tiffany brand. I mean, when I first walked in there, I felt so grateful to have that opportunity, and so inspired by working with all these incredible professionals who are going to, who I knew were top of the game. I mean, they really were. The people who work inside CBS and CBS News are phenomenal. They're like the best technical people, best set people, best everything you can imagine. Because it's the Tiffany network, of course it is. But when you've tussled with some of their corporate people or on editorial issues, and you've thought about, they wouldn't, when I was there, they wouldn't let me cover gay rights or gay marriage at all. Like the corporate people would say, absolutely not. You can't do gay marriage. It's like, it's in the news. And they're like, no. So, it's not, it's difficult what's happened to that place, but it's also the network, the whole idea of a network newscast is sort of disappeared. I don't know who really watches it anymore. I don't know if people get their news. I think more people get their news off FiveStack maybe than they do on CBS News. Maybe that's even possibly true that there's more viewers on Substack than there are on CBS News every night. It might.
Yeah. You know what? And you're bringing up a point that I made in a post today because I wrote about this. And what CBS did, and we can move on to number 4 in the FiveStack in just a second. What CBS did yesterday with that announcement is they didn't wave the white flag. What they said was, we're going to start co-signing information that is not true. Because there are a lot of people in the United States that believe Donald Trump, and he's a fucking pathological liar, and we're aligned with him, and our owners are his biggest donors, and so that is what we have to do. Listen, if you ever wondered when is a good time to never watch network news again? When is a good time to cancel your fucking cable subscription, to get rid of CBS, to get rid of NBC? Joe Scarborough comes to mind. Mika Brzezinski comes to mind, paying tribute to Donald Trump the second that he won last year. If you want to get rid of Fox, there is not a single, outside of NPR, that I can think of. Maybe Axios, and Axios isn't a mainstream media channel.
Yeah.
There isn't a single mainstream media network in this country that you can trust anymore. Not because of the people that work there, but because of the allegiances of the investors, the boards, and the people who now own the brands. Because they understand the importance of those brands when it comes to sane washing, co-signing, deliberate bullshit, lies, fascist, dictatorial, edicts to present them as if they are real, to present Donald Trump as if he is a legitimate president, to present Pete Hegseth as if he is legitimate Secretary of War, to present Kristi Noem as if she is a legitimate DHS secretary, to present Stephen Miller's ideas as interesting, because we live beyond the pale at this point because of guys like Zev, because of guys like me, because of people like Midas, people like Lev, people like Cohen, people like Ellie, people like Waj, is we've killed them. And now what they're doing is they're taking over legitimate brands to legitimize their lies. Because CBS, in a lot of people's minds, eschewed, has been like literally branded into their heads as, well, it's fucking CBS News. It's got to be true. And it won't be, and it ain't anymore. And you should get to know that real quick.
And, follow the money. The money's coming from the Middle East. It's coming from Saudi Arabia, from Qatar, from UAE. This is not an American-owned institution. This is a foreign propaganda division that's funding propaganda into America. That's basically all it is now. It's CBS. You found the right news if you're coming to the FiveStack. And I've been playing around with this idea. Maybe on Monday I'll launch it. It's a nightly newscast. Maybe we'll do that at 7 p.m. Maybe you come on and be my first guest.
Yeah, I would love to. I'll be your first guest.
We'll see if we can give him a run for his money and do the nightly news.
Do couple? Let's see if we can. Dude, you've got better chops than him. You're more qualified than Dukoppel, and you're more qualified than Barry Weiss to do both of those fucking jobs, and you know it.
They're both good people, but we'll give our best here. We'll try a 7 p.m.
You think Barry Weiss is a good person?
No, but I think she's no.
I think she is a terrible human being and a deeply compromised individual. That's what I think.
Yes, you're right. Let's get into number 4.
And wholly fucking unqualified.
Yes.
Not easy to look at either. Anyway.
Also, a lot of we've spoken about it before. Let's get into number 4 because over 20 million Americans lost healthcare coverage yesterday as pandemic-era ACA protections expired and Congress went on recess without extending them. Trump's doing nothing because the cuts are designed, I believe, to price out poor Black families. When you really look at what's happening, is the people on the lower end of the poverty scale, the people who might be in Black communities, are suffering the most. They're losing their coverage. But in addition to that, Black unemployment is now up to 8.3%. All of that compounds on any community, of course, because less employment, less healthcare, less facilities, less everything, less money in that economy, and you get a situation where you have a similar system to apartheid, basically, where different people of different races get access to different kinds of healthcare or healthcare insurance.
Yeah, that's, in Canada, we struggle with this thing called two-tiered healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
But that healthcare is based on who can afford, like, first-class healthcare, doctor's visits in their houses, CT scans they pay for the next day, that kind of stuff. There is that in Canada. And then the other tier is for everybody else, guys like me. In the United States, they've got, and us, like 3-tiered healthcare. It's the richy riches, then it's the white people, then it's people of color.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know this, people of color, specifically in the Black community, pay on average of 30% more for their health insurance premiums than white families in the United States.
I didn't know that.
These healthcare premiums are now going to go up 4 to 5 times if they already haven't. I saw an incredible meme the other day from this woman who, she's crying. It was a video. She's crying. She was talking about how, because Obamacare was so affordable and it was graduated and scaled with the household income that belonged to the family, right? Now the husband's lost the job. They've gone and jacked her insurance rates. Family of 4, 2 kids, her and her husband. Husband's looking for work. This is a Black family. And she was devastated. She's like, we're going to be homeless, or we just can't afford healthcare. Like, there's only one choice for 22 million people to make today.
The thing is, this is really economic warfare against Black people. This is not, because of their white nationalist roots, we can know what the Trump administration is really trying to do. They're trying to basically kill people. I mean, there's no other way to do this. By firing all these people they did from the federal sector, by increasing the the unemployment rate to 8.3%, which they've done with tariffs and other things like that. They are in the process of killing Black Americans, and they're using economic warfare to do it. But this is one of the worst things that they can do, because it's forcing people to make that very difficult choice that you're pointing out, to whether they pay their health insurance or they pay for their insulin, or whatever it is they might have to choose every year. And that is, that is a choice that America should not be presenting its people. This is the richest country on the planet. The fact that they can't be providing healthcare to everybody is a real slight against the country. The fact that it's happening so blatantly and obviously, that there is this economic war against Black people is just shameful. But it's, it is white nationalism. It is. People aren't calling it that. They really need to be calling it that. I certainly don't expect Tony to do it on the CBS Evening News, but
no,
newsflash, Tony.
Tony's not allowed to say that stuff. Tony, don't do it. Tony, here's what you can't say tonight. Yeah. That's what he gets. Listen, it fits into, it's just this racialized attempt to destroy the United States economy, right? Is how do they destroy the economy? And they destroy the labor force. How do you destroy the labor force? You make it unsure. You shake it to its foundation. You make it difficult for people to get jobs. You make it difficult for people to be healthy. You make it difficult for people to eat. You make it difficult for people to afford rent. You destroy the labor force. Those are really important pillars on how every dictator has always destroyed an economy to get people to live hand to mouth, and to get them to come to them, get the people to come to the dictators to say, whatever you want, sir, we're just hungry. Whatever you want, sir, we're just sick. Please help us, please help us, please help us. Generally, that help never shows up with Trump. He's the guy that starts the fire, screams fire, blames other people, comes in, puts it out, and says, look at me, I'm a fucking hero. That's not going to happen, because what Trump wants to do is he wants to destroy the United States economy, because he's got about $12 billion in crypto and Bitcoin that's sitting off to the side somewhere. And if he destroys the economy, he's got to bolster it with something. He's got to bring in a different kind of reserve. That reserve is crypto and Bitcoin. Now, the meanest way you do that is you go after the low-hanging fruit. What's the low-hanging fruit when it comes to making a society sick, when it comes to destroying the labor force? You go after all the migrants working fruit farms in fucking California. You go after Black people in inner cities in Chicago, and you destroy their ability to go to work. You make them too scared to leave the fucking house. You take away their health care. You make it physically and financially impossible for them to live a happy, healthy life. That is what Donald Trump is doing, if you ask me. It's not just about the racialized effort to destroy Americans, to kill Americans, specifically Americans of color or migrants of color. He's using that as a cudgel to destroy the United States economy. And if you don't believe me, keep reading. Go ahead and research it. This is a fact-based analysis.
I really love that you're saying that, because I think that there is, people aren't connecting the dot that, he's appealing to people's racism, innate racism, in order to destroy the whole country. So it's a con being played on Americans using their own, potential racism, and it's sad. I'm not saying, oh, Americans are racist, of course not, but there's enough of them, and that's what he's using as a card. There was an ad they put out the other day, which is all about. I think they said, what if America had 100 million less people, 100 million deportees, how much safer and cleaner and better it would be if they had 100 million people less. Well, there aren't 100 million people to deport, so no one knows what they're talking about. But it certainly appeals to a certain kind of mindset, and that's exactly the mindset they're tracking. The number 3 story on the countdown today is House Republicans released Jack Smith's testimony, thinking it would vindicate Trump. Instead, Smith gave a full-throated defense of his January the 6th investigation and confirmed what we already knew, that Trump was the most responsible person for the attack on the Capitol. This story is on deanblundell.substack.com. Dean, tell us what Jack told him. We've got the video clips as well.
You know what? I would love to tell you, but I'd rather Jack tell you. Yeah. Jack Smith, keep in mind, special prosecutor, was handing down indictments charging Trump with treason and sedition and insurrection that killed several people. The fake elector scam, 2 grand juries, 2 separate grand juries in 2 separate districts based on the merit of the evidence. So Donald Trump not only encouraged it, he helped plan it, he exploited it and used it to his own benefit, and he was the guy responsible. That's what the evidence said. We're going to see it. We've got the transcripts of it. If you go to deanblundell.substack.com, you can read the transcripts and the Jack Smith post. It's on the front page. But I want to start with Jack Smith's opening statement. If you have that, I would love to hear it from Jack himself.
This is him talking about the January 6th, I think so, right? Or is it the illegal? It's a longer clip or the shorter clip?
Let me find it. Hang on a second.
One is a minute, the other one is 2:25.
Yeah, what is this one? I got. Hang on a second.
No, it's okay.
101.
All right, here we go.
So, did you develop evidence that President Trump, was responsible for the violence at the Capitol on January 6th?
So, our view of the evidence was that he caused it, and that he exploited it, and that it was foreseeable to him.
But you don't have any evidence that he instructed people to crash the Capitol, do you?
As I said, our evidence is that he, in the weeks leading up to January 6th, created a level of distrust. He used that level of distrust to get people to believe fraud claims that weren't true. He made false statements to state legislatures, to his supporters, in all sorts of contexts, and was aware in the days leading up to January 6th that his supporters were angry when he invited them, and then he directed them to the Capitol.
So did you
That's pretty,
develop evidence that President Trump?
yeah.
Fairly direct, right?
Yeah.
That's under cross from one of Trump's acolytes.
Yeah.
Now you heard him say he fraudulently encouraged people to go and invade the Capitol building, right? Fraudulently through a series of claims.
Exploited and caused is what he said. Yeah. Those are the
Exploited and caused.
Yeah.
If you can go to the clip that is 225.
Yeah.
This is him explaining it, because the follow-up question to Jack Smith, these are the three most important. We got one more to play after this. The follow-up question to Jack Smith from one of the GOP dickwads was, well, isn't it Trump's First Amendment right to say that the election was stolen and rigged?
Mm-hmm.
Now, pretty good question if the guy you're asking the question to isn't Jack fucking Smith. Play the clip if you can.
As I sit here right now, I can't remember specific conversations. I do remember that we knew that a sort of First Amendment defense would be part of the case. And I think when I mentioned to you earlier about how to frame the case, we want to make clear that this was not about trying to interfere with anyone's First Amendment rights, that this was a fraud. And as you know, under Supreme Court precedent, fraud is not protected by the First Amendment. And so in my mind, it was important to make that clear in the indictment, and that's why when we litigated this issue before the district court, we prevailed.
But the president's statements that he believed the election was rife with fraud, those certainly are statements that are protected by the First Amendment, correct?
Absolutely not if they are made to target a lawful government function and they are made with knowing falsity. No, they're not. That was my point about fraud not being protected by the First Amendment.
Oh.
Oops.
I mean, there's a long list of disputed elections. I mean, the election of 1800.
Gets better.
1960.
The election of 1800.
Year 2000, where candidates believe they were wronged by because they lost. And there's a long history of candidates speaking out about they believe there's been fraud, there's been other problems with the integrity of the election process. And I think you would agree that those types of statements are sort of at the core of the First Amendment rights of a presidential candidate, right?
There is no historical analog for what President Trump did in this case. As we said in the indictment, he was free to say that he thought he won the election. He was even free to say falsely that he won the election. But what he was not free to do was violate federal law and use knowingly false statements about election fraud to target a lawful government function. Mm-hmm. That he was not allowed to do. And that differentiates this case from any past history.
I love this guy.
Oh,
This guy
dude.
is
Nails.
yeah, like just amazing. He's so
Calm.
tough. He's so
Yeah.
strong. He doesn't give a shit. He's in there just presenting the facts. He's not scared of anybody.
No.
Be the president.
Not only is he not scared of anybody,
Yeah.
his opening statement, which I saved for the end because it's fucking brilliant,
Yeah.
accuses him beyond a shadow of a doubt. Proof beyond reasonable doubt. This is a guy that's never lost a fucking criminal case in his fucking life.
See why.
Proof beyond it. He's not about to prosecute or litigate something, or he's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could go either way. And he put it through two separate grand juries in two totally separate districts. And both of those grand juries, based on the evidence provided, came back with a unanimous, you got to charge the guy with treason, sedition, and starting an insurrection. He's like, go time. And that's what he did. Play the last clip. It's 239, I believe. Yeah, 239.
For nearly 3 decades, I've been a career prosecutor. I've served during both Republican and Democratic administrations, and I've been guided by those principles in every role I've held. I continued to honor those principles when I was appointed to serve as special counsel in November of 2022. The decision to bring charges against President Trump was mine, but the basis for those charges rests entirely with President Trump and his actions, as alleged in the indictments returned by grand juries in 2 different districts. Our investigation developed proof beyond a reasonable doubt that President Trump engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election and to prevent the lawful transfer of power. Our investigation also developed powerful evidence that showed that President Trump willfully retained highly classified documents after he left office in January of 2021, storing them at his social club, including in a ballroom and a bathroom. He then repeatedly tried to obstruct justice to conceal his continued retention of those documents. I remain grateful for the counsel, judgment, and advice of my team as I executed my responsibilities. I am both saddened and angered that President Trump has sought revenge against career prosecutors, FBI agents, and support staff simply for doing their jobs and for having worked on those cases. These dedicated public servants are the best of us, and they have been wrongly vilified and improperly dismissed from their jobs. I made my decisions in the investigation without regard to President Trump's political association, activities, beliefs, or candidacy in the 2024 presidential election. We took our actions based on the facts and the law, the very lessons I learned early in my career as a prosecutor. We followed Justice Department policies and observed legal requirements. The timing and speed of our work reflects the strength of the evidence and our confidence that we would have secured convictions at trial. If asked whether to prosecute a former president based on the same facts today, I would do so regardless of whether that president was a Republican or a Democrat.
I mean, we all know this, but it's great to hear it from him. And it's great that they've released this video because it's, it's so obvious this is what happened. Those 2 crimes definitely happened. It's hard to imagine that they didn't. We all saw the stacks of confidential, top secret, classified information that was stored in the Mar-a-Lago bathroom with access to almost anybody who was a member there. And we know that there are many members there who are foreign spies, the many foreign spies at Mar-a-Lago. The fact that they were just held in a storage area under the main outside space there is ridiculous. And the fact that it was temporarily stored in the ballroom as well. These are top secret classified documents that we suspect, although this wasn't necessarily made public, but everyone suspects that he was selling these to the Saudis and to the Russians and to anyone who's willing to pay him enough
Israel,
money.
Hungary. Yeah, how many people can fucking go into Niagara Mar-a-Lago when he was off for 4 years?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. And these are nuclear secrets. These are things that keep us safe at home. These are the
secrets
things
Americans died to find and keep.
Yeah. And the secrets of how we defend ourselves. This president feels like it's okay to store it in his social club and then sell it to his allies, which happen to be America's enemies. I mean, this is he calls it a criminal scheme. It is a criminal scheme what they did in 2020 when they tried to steal the elections, and it's still a criminal scheme today. That all his schemes are criminal. In fact, there's not a single thing he does that isn't criminal. Every single action this president does from the minute he wakes up till the minute he goes
That's
to
all he
bed
knows, dude.
is a crime. It's a litany of crimes. We can't even keep up with the number of crimes he's committing against the American people. It's constant, and it's impossible to keep up with. If someone actually wants to start a tracker, that would be a good exercise, because I don't think we can keep up with it.
The
There are
Trump crime
so many-
tracker? We
Yeah.
got the Trump tyranny tracker with
Yeah.
Olga. We need
Yeah.
a Trump crime tracker. The
Yeah.
Trump crime family tracker.
Yeah, because there are so many crimes and so big, and this entire syndicate of criminals that has backed this president, and that is now taking over American privacy, that is taking over American news media, that is taking over our ability to express our rights, to express our votes, to be anything that America used to be about, which is about freedom. This criminal syndicate is taking it away, and Donald Trump is at the head of this snake and he's busy destroying America for the sake of earning money for these foreign adversaries that have hired him for this job, basically. And this is where we're landing up with, a world where Elon Musk might be back again for another round with the MAGA world. So, and he's patching up his relationships with JD Vance and Donald Trump. So he's going to pour another $250 million from where? From Russia or from China into the next election process. And they're going to try to sell the same, lies, the same crimes, and the same, just made up nonsense, this polarizing disinformation that they spread. They're going to spread it to everybody again. They're going to try to use the same formula again next year. And America's a little bit wiser for it.
Well, thus the importance of the purchase of CBS, right? Thus the importance of TikTok is they can take Jack Smith's bulletproof testimony, 8 hours of it, and either hide it so no one fucking sees it, or exploit it, or AI the shit out of it, or create a narrative around it, take it out of context, and feed that into the brains of morons and unsuspecting normal human beings who are like, oh, I guess it's true because CBS said so. Because it's on TikTok, which is fucking hilarious if people say that. Oh, I saw it on TikTok. I saw it on Twitter. But you underscore the importance of this story in as much as it bleeds into the first story, which is the colonization of your brain by Donald Trump to offer an alternative reality. Now, what you heard from Jack Smith, career prosecutor, impugnable record. The man is the best of the best of the best in the United States of America at what he does, has never lost a criminal case. The most well-respected criminal prosecutor maybe in the United States of America, not, on some kind of criminal prosecution grift like the Garagos family or the Dershowitz crew. Is Jack Smith is the gold standard, the unbiased legal gold standard when it comes to special prosecutors. Jack Smith was not allowed to talk about the evidence that he had, and that's also part of the deposition. If you go to the deanblundell.substack.com, and if you check out the Jack Smith story, there's a link to 255 pages where you can read Jack go, I'm sorry, I cannot talk about that. It's also part of an ongoing issue. The issue is that Donald Trump begged Aileen Cannon to put a zip on this file and all the evidence within it and make no mention of it. Jack Smith was not allowed to make any mention of any of the evidence until Aileen Cannon decided that she would take the cover off the embargo for the actual evidence. That happens in February, apparently, unless Donald Trump signs another executive order and tries to bury this. There are two issues that he had before Christmas, and he tried to cover them both up. Obviously, one is the Epstein files. We know how that went. The guy's a pedophile. And the other one is Jack Smith's testimony. Now, Jack Smith is sent a letter to Congress and the Senate. I am begging you to let me, when the files are allowed to be talked about, the evidence is allowed to be discussed, let me present that in an oversight committee hearing or at a public hearing in front of the Congress or the Senate. So, folks, hopefully in February, March, you're going to see the fur fly because Donald Trump is guilty as fuck.
Well, I don't know if you're ever going to see that happen. We'll see. We'll see if Jack Smith ever gets to testify in public like that. If Trump's still in power, he's going to shut it down. Of course he will. The number 2 story, speaking of Trump's criminal enterprise, this is brand new. Just came from Wendy Siegelman, one of the best reporters out there on this stuff. Devin Nunes, Trump's bagman, that's really all you can call him. He also heads up Trump's media company, the Truth Social company. So he is also the person who previously ran Russian interference for the Russians during the investigation around Trump Russia. He's a well-known former congressman with a lot
He's
of.
Trump's lapdog. He's just he's a ferret, right?
It's the guy they pay when they want to pay Donald Trump. They pay him, so it doesn't look like Donald Trump's taking a bribe. So the CEO of Trump Media just took control of a company that bid $10 billion for Venezuelan state-owned oil just a few months ago. So, today Maduro is out there saying, hey, we'll talk to Donald Trump and we'll also sell Donald Trump. Well, not sell Donald Trump, sell American investors the Venezuelan oil that we have, or some rights to Venezuelan oil, including some of the stuff that was previously taken by the Venezuelan government. So who owns one of these companies that previously did the bidding, who just recently acquired this company, is Nunes, along with several other executives from Truth Social media companies, or Trump Media. So what we have here is the appearance, I think, of basically Donald Trump wanting to buy the Venezuelan oils that he says that Venezuela took from him and from America. He wants to buy it for himself. He's buying it for himself, and he's a criminal crime syndicate. And he's using American, war powers, and he's using Americans, supposed trying to liberate Maduro, or supposed to liberate the Venezuelan people as an excuse for it.
Yeah, no. This is all about oil. It always has been. Always has been.
It's his oil. He wants to own the oil. That's the story.
Of course he does. Of course he does, dude.
It's his personal oil that he wants to now own.
Well, dude, he said that too. And if you remember, I can't remember when it was. 2 weeks ago, a week ago, he's standing in front of Air Force One. He's like, that's our land, that's our oil. We're going to take it back. Do you remember that? Yeah. So what happened that week was Trump and Truth Social Media entered into an agreement with a nuclear fusion company that doesn't exist, if you remember that. Nuclear fusion doesn't exist yet.
Yes.
Cold fusion. A nuclear fusion company fully funded by Russia.
Mm-hmm.
There's a $6 billion deal.
$6 billion paycheck, basically.
Yeah, for Trump. Because they're like, okay, well, let's just merge and we'll give you $6 billion and you can have a part in this imaginary cold fusion company. It's just like, okay. Shortly after that, that's Truth Social, by the way.
Which, by the way, is not a company that has any money, because it's been tempting as a social media network. It's
bankrupt. It's just a shell that they hustle money in and out of. So now what you're telling me is this bankrupt company
found $10 billion.
Found $10 billion, and Devin Nunes is one of the owners? You telling me that? Are you telling me the seven guys?
I don't know if he found the $10 billion, but they own the company that attempted to buy the Venezuelan state-owned oil, which I assume they're going to try to do again now that it's owned by Devin Nunes, who's Trump's bagman, because now they can do it again because they might get through this time because it's Trump's bagman that has the money.
Going back to that Trump criminality tracker, this would be right up there.
I mean, it's astonishing how blatant it is. And Wendy Siegelman, who is just a genius at following all the stuff, I don't know how Wendy's always been top notch at this, but she finds every little nook and cranny that the Trump administration tries to hide in. And she found this one. It's a big story, and I hope others pick up on it, because this whole Venezuelan thing is not about anything, like not about narco terrorism. It's not even about getting the oil back from America. It's about getting the oil
into the Trump crime family's pocket, dude. Yeah. And here's the other. Do you remember when Donald Trump was on this, like last year, was on this like weird like magnet kick?
Yeah.
Magnets. Yeah. Who'd have thought? Magnets. Nobody needs magnets. I guess those magnets are really important. Magnets. Remember that? Guess who bought a company called Vulcan Industries, which is the shipper of magnets, for $700 million?
Trump.
Donald Trump Jr. Guess who got a sweet $700 million contract to develop magnets for phones, computers, et cetera, et cetera?
Donald Trump Jr.
Donald Trump Jr. Guess where he got it from?
The Pentagon.
Yes, sir. There you go. The White House.
That's how it all happened.
Sole sourced. And so let's stop with the illusion that Donald Trump isn't enriching himself. And if you're one of those maggots out there that's struggling to pay rent, to get an email from him this morning, because I got one. I'm on the Trump mailing list. Y'all should be on the Trump mailing list. And it says at the top of it, keep all of these stories of self-enrichment, billions of dollars, cronyism, insider trading, insider dealing. I mean, he's fucking Americans. And with a smile on his face. But if you're one of those really poor people that lives in a trailer, can barely get by, and you got the same email I got this morning, which was, "What's wrong, Dean? Don't you love me? I haven't heard from you in a long time. It's coming down to it, and I could really use your support. They're coming after us, and I need to know who to sign this tariff check over to. So if you could do me a favor and send this email to a bunch of fucking people, and then donate here anywhere between $5,000 and $100,000, I'd really appreciate it." That man has the fucking money taps turned on everywhere.
Yeah. And he's extorting you and everybody, not you, but the people who he's sending those fundraising letters to, and he's extorting the Maduro government, and people are letting him do it using the American military. I mean, this is the U.S. military that we pay for as taxpayers being used to threaten this regime, which shouldn't be in power. Everyone agrees, but it's really not what they're doing, in order to threaten him to sell back the U.S. oil interests to him, directly to him. It's so corrupt. It doesn't even, it's just so disgusting. And these poor people who are, there are a lot of people out there thinking, oh, well, it's a good thing because maybe we'll get rid of Maduro's government. Maybe we'll be returning democracy to Venezuela. We're not going to be returning democracy to Venezuela. And since
You think the United States is going to go in there and take whatever they want and install a democratic fucking prime minister or
the
president?
United States isn't democratic anymore. Why are they going to be trying to install democracy in Venezuela? He did the same thing in Iran this weekend. He's like, hey, Iran, if they shoot any of those protesters, we're going to come after them.
He said shot. If they keep shotting any of those fucking protesters, we're going to bomb the shit out of you. We're locked and loaded. Yeah, ready to go.
He doesn't care about protests. He doesn't care about freedom of speech. That's the last thing he cares about. Suddenly he's a proponent of that because he wants what? Iran oil. That's what he wants.
Of course he does. Of course he does. If they get regime change in Iran, they get Iran's oil. That's just the way it fucking works, right? And that's really the whole goal. And the irony of that post today that he put out, where he's like, it's a warning for Iran. You shoot any more fucking protesters, we're locked and loaded. We're coming after you. Stop killing your protesters. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to what Donald Trump has been doing to protesters in the United States this past year, but is there a country out there that can threaten him with that?
Yeah. National Guard.
I mean, the irony is just fucking the hypocrisy. Is like Donald Trump is kicking the shit out of hundreds of thousands of people that are protesting him across the United States of America on a daily basis. He funded an ICE task Gestapo force to kick the shit out of people. He's got anti-protest rapid response crews currently being trained to go kick the shit out of people. He's got election like fucking little green men that are preparing to go and stand in line at the election and pull people out of line. And he's saying to the people of Iran, the supreme leader of Iran, and no love lost for any theocratic dictator or dictatorial country based in religious dictatorship. That's why I fucking hate America right now, because they're literally a Christian nationalist nation. Well, they're not, but Donald Trump wants it to be. Yeah, they're a theocracy. That's what they are. It's the same thing with Iran. And he's threatening them, and he's telling them, if you don't stop beating your protesters, we're going to bomb you. He beats hundreds of thousands of fucking people daily. And
here's the thing. Both Venezuela and Iran are allied to Russia and China, which happen to be his allies. So if he does anything to either of these countries, it's all performative. It's all theater. There's nothing real going on. They're just going to be doing a little bit of wag the dog, distract everybody from the real crises at home, which include the economic crisis, which includes Jack Smith, which includes the Epstein crisis, which includes the fact that the U.S. economy is tanking. All these things are going to, they'll start a little war. They might even liberate Venezuela for whatever reason. But it's not oil. It's not because they care or they mean it or anything. It's all distraction. And it's because China and Russia are on the other side telling Maduro and the Ayatollah exactly what to do in Iran. That's just the way it is. The number one story on the countdown today is all about Jeffrey Epstein, because it has to be. This big story out of the Wall Street Journal published a report today that doesn't poke holes in Trump's Epstein's defense. It documents an operational system inside Trump's business that sent young women directly into Jeffrey Epstein's orbit for years. Young women from Mar-a-Lago sent into Epstein's lair for massages or whatever. And it's basically, not even basically, it implicates Donald Trump in a human trafficking operation, the president of the United States, with Jeffrey Epstein in a human trafficking operation. Dean Blundell, the Substack.com, has the story. Tell us.
I'm not sure if you read the Wall Street Journal expose this weekend, Murdoch-owned paper, but oh my God, or as the hillbillies say, my God. What a bombshell. I mean,
not news,
and
by the way. In many
it's
ways,
not
it was
news, but
it
it's
was
one of those
interesting.
things where you're like, oh, fuck, thank God we knew it.
Yeah.
The assertion is, and I'll just give you the Cole's notes, that Donald Trump ran part of the Epstein trafficking pipeline out of Mar-a-Lago. No other way to put it. That dozens of young girls were sent at Donald Trump's behest from the spa to Jeffrey Epstein's house for years for massages and, quote, spa services. That's how they get around it. It's spa services, right? And the fascinating part about this, and I'll just read you the Wall Street Journal tweet and we'll kind of get into it. Epstein wasn't a frequent visitor to Mar-a-Lago. The club was actually sending spa employees, usually young women, to Epstein's nearby mansion for massages, manicures, and other spa services, according to Mar-a-Lago and former Epstein employees. The house calls went on for years, even as spa employees warned each other about Epstein, who was known among staff for being sexually suggestive and exposing himself during the appointments, according to Mar-a-Lago employees. The spa occasionally provided house calls for members. Epstein wasn't a dues-paying member of the club, but Trump told the staff to treat him like one. Employees said Epstein had an account at the spa where his companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, booked appointments on his behalf. It came to a halt in 2003 after an 18-year-old beautician returned to the club from a house call to Epstein and reported the managers he had pursued her for sex, sexually assaulted her. Let's just stop with the colloquial language here. Bottom line is the suggestion from the Wall Street Journal is Donald Trump trafficked young women, girls, to Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. Do you have the clip of Donald Trump on the airplane?
Yeah.
Mr. President, Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young
Yeah.
women. What did they do?
In the spa.
Jobs in the spa.
Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know.
Did last time.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
I mean, he was running an operation, and this is exactly how they know each other, because they were doing the same things and they liked the same things and they compromised the same people. And they, why was he having 16-year-olds working at his spa anyhow? It's unusual, to say the least.
Dude, I think it's generous for you to call it unusual.
Yeah.
It's pedophilia.
Yeah.
Donald Trump ran a pedophile sex trafficking ring out of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump, you don't need to fucking read between the lines. Thank God he's got dementia. He just admitted it.
Yeah.
And now we've got, that was 3 months ago. Now we got the Wall Street Journal report that not only co-signs that statement, but gives context to the statement. I'm going to read something to you. This is in 2023. This is what Trump can't run from. 18-year-old beautician returned from a house call to Epstein's mansion, reported that Epstein pressured her for sex. Managers did the right thing for once. They sent Trump a fax detailing the allegation, urging Epstein to be banned. According to former employees, Trump read it, called it a good letter, and ordered Epstein removed from the spa, not the club. Trump defenders treat this as exculpatory. It's not. It proves the opposite. It proves Trump had direct authority. They went to him. When they said, oh, there's a problem, they went to him. He knew what was going on. Trump was alerted only after someone escalated it. Now, this is someone that went to the police, and the police decided not to actually press charges. Okay? Trump also continued, by the way, to associate with Epstein. Epstein continued to go to Mar-a-Lago. They just didn't send girls over to Mar-a-Lago anymore. Why? Not because he felt bad for them, but because, oops, one just went to the police. So no more, can't do it, shut it down. They remained friends until 2016. They remained friends. He went to Mar-a-Lago all the fucking
Well, I think
time
their
after
friendship
that.
ended a lot earlier than that. But I mean, the fact that they continue to have contact is unknown necessarily. But, you know, their friendship ended after 2004. But the truth of it is, they're working for the same criminal syndicate they had been for decades, and they continued until today. If Epstein was still alive, it's been the same network. And Epstein's network continues. You know, it still exists out there. There's still companies that Epstein owned that are run somehow. How do they continue to operate? You know, if it was for Epstein, if Epstein is dead, it's just like it's so hard to fathom. It's built because it's part of the same network.
Yeah.
But, you know, then you got Katie Johnson, which always which is the very graphic, detailed allegation against both of these men, raping her as a teenage girl. I mean, it's not just one little bit of evidence; it's a lot of evidence. You know, it's not just a little bit of smoke; it's a lot of smoke. And when you put it all together, you just have to conclude that the president is involved in a criminal pedophile operation and also raping young women himself. It's hard to see it any other way. As Jack Smith reported about his cases, and these were criminal enterprises. This is a criminal enterprise. The president happens to be a criminal, and a big criminal who's been doing crime for many, many years.
By the way, a convicted criminal.
Convicted criminal as well. Yeah.
And crimes, when you get convicted of a crime, right? You finally get caught. They're like mice. If you find one,
Yeah.
you've got hundreds. If you've been convicted of 34 counts of criminality,
Yeah.
you have committed 3,400 different crimes in my mind. And this is a fact. Donald Trump spent 50 fucking years running a criminal money laundering enterprise on behalf of the people that he's trying to protect behind the Epstein files. You want brass tacks? That's the brass tacks.
And it's just, if people think that he's changed somehow, that he's now the president of the United States and has suddenly been struck with some sort of, you know, more clear morality or ethics or something, you're deluding yourself. This man is committing crimes right now against the American people. He is right now stealing billions and billions of dollars, extracting it out of the economy, extracting it into crypto, doing what he can to collapse the US dollar in order to steal every little bit that he can from the US people for the same criminal syndicate. This is not anyone who thinks that he has had some road to Damascus conversion is seriously misguided. This man continues to show us day in and day out that he's a criminal.
Well said, my friend. And with that,
yes, we've been a while.
We bring the first Substack of the new year, 2026, to a close. Thanks for doing this, dude. It was awesome to see you.
Nice to see you. It's Friday, January the 2nd. We'll be back on Monday, and we'll see you then. Have a great week.
I'm gonna go watch Heated Rivalry right now.
You know what? Do it. I want to, and I want to know what your reaction is. Tomorrow you're gonna have to Monday reveal it to us. I think you'll get to all 6 episodes. It's a good show. It's a good show.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. Same reason why I didn't watch Eyes Wide Shut, which maybe I should now because it makes more sense.
Yes, and now it turns out to be true. It turns out to be all about Epstein's world anyhow.
I know. Anyway, thanks for doing this, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, don't forget, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Please hit the share button. Hammer those hearts. Share that little box with the arrow. If you enjoyed this, if you found this beneficial to giving you context, affirming the fact that you're not crazy with information that you can count on, please share this with other people. If you would consider becoming a paid subscriber, we'd greatly appreciate that. It's a labor of love for us, but it also keeps us moving forward. and it keeps our attention fully on what our attention should be fully on, which is informing you that we can all beat fascism together, that we can take this prick down together. That between Canada, the United States, between the better people and better America in America, and of course Canadians that want their best friends back, that's why we do what we do. I know that's why Zev does it. That's why I do it. We do it for victims. We do it for people who are being marginalized. But more importantly, we do it to arm you with information. Knowledge is power. And we want a powerful group of Americans to stand up to this bullshit, to stand up to the pedophilia, to stand up to the fascism, to stand up to the violence, to stand up to the destruction of basic human rights in the United States of America. So that's why we're here. If you would consider sharing this, we'd really appreciate it. Subscribing goes a long way too. Narrative.org is where you can find my friend Zev Shalev. DeanBlundell.com, Substack.com is where you can find me. And in about an hour and a half, you can find me watching the finale of Stranger Things. So don't say anything, anybody. Not a word.
All right. Have a great weekend, Dean. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.